Want to hear a funny opinion? That Don Lemon doesn't do opinion.
I don't do opinion. And I know that the difference for me is I do point of view. So I'm giving my point of view as an American, as a black man who happens to be gay. But I'm through that lens, but I also represent CNN. And so I must tell the truth. And if I don't, if my facts are wrong, then I have to clarify it and I have to come on television and I have to apologize and I say, I got that wrong.
That has never happened. So he's telling you what he bases his opinions off of. At the same time, he tells you he doesn't give opinions, just point of view. Look up what point of view means. It means opinion. But let's be honest, CNN's facts are much like their opinions in that they aren't facts. And serious, Don Lemon doesn't do opinions. Yeah, and the Olive Garden doesn't do breadsticks. And riots are peaceful, and crime isn't exploding, and Kat Timpf isn't hammered off copy toner right now. It's true. You know what they say about opinions. Opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. And you know what they say about a-holes with opinions? They probably work at CNN. Imagine taking anything that Lemon says as fact. I think CNN once did a commercial on that.
This is an apple. Some people might try to tell you that it's a banana. They might scream banana, banana, banana over and over and over again. They might put banana in all caps. You might even start to believe that this is a banana.
Whoa. Much like Brian Stelter's hairline, that has not aged well. And neither has Lemon's so-called facts, otherwise known as unhinged babble puke.
You are the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States of America, the greatest country on earth. Act like it. The president of the United States is a fraud and a con man. The president of the United States is racist. A lot of us already knew that. If you voted for Trump, you voted for the person who the Klan supported. You voted for the person who Nazis support. They like the racism. They like the misogyny. They like all of it, because if they didn't, they wouldn't support him. Yeah, Democratic cities are in chaos right now. Is this what you want from Joe Biden? And they're going to take your country away, and they're taking down the statues. And
crime is rising as they defund police.
Oh, my gosh, it's so bad. And they get defunding police. It's like...
Biden just did a presser on the crime wave, buddy. If you brought this guy within a mile of a lie detector, it would explode. I haven't seen that many bad opinions since the initial reviews of this hit show. Whatever happened to those people? So why is he so defensive about expressing opinions? It seems like a central part of his identity, his emotional assessment of stuff. Why can't he say, hi, I'm Don Lemon, and I have more opinions than a meth-addled cab driver? Instead, we have to laugh at his nightly denials. After me, he's the funniest late-night show host on TV. Perhaps it's a defensive response to our accurate criticism of CNN. And we're only trying to help them. A strong CNN makes for a stronger Fox News. Competition builds character. It's why my debate coach would make me wrestle him for pencils. They were always in his front pocket. So with a weak adversary like CNN, it's harder to build your own muscles. It's like the gym, you need heavy weights to build strength. And CNN is like those stretch bands old ladies use in arthritis commercials. And like those bands, you can only stretch the truth so far before it breaks. But at this point, it's almost unfair to comment on CNN. It's like bad-mouthing the deceased at a funeral. But they deserve it. They refuse to admit they're agenda-driven, and the agenda is to stoke anger between citizens in order to keep eyeballs glued to their misery fest. The fact that their ratings are lower than a snake's nuts should be good news for all of us. Still, they must maintain the belief that they speak the truth because everything else they do is built on it. Snakes do have nuts. Do they? If you lie all the time and then you tell the truth, half of the CNN viewers will suddenly figure out that you were lying to them before. So they turn you off and boom, there goes half their audience, which is roughly the size of the Hegseth family. Last week, I pointed out the difference between us and the Decepticons at CNN. We make it clear who's giving an opinion and who's reporting a story. Take me and Bill Hemmer to Aruba. He's a news guy who delivers the product straighter than Perino's teeth. I'm an opinion guy who looks great in a pastel Speedo. Follow me on Instagram. How does Don Lemon see this obvious fact?
So that is a difference between what I'm doing and what someone, as you mentioned, over at Fox News is doing. I'm operating from a place of truth. It's all based in fact, and it's all based on the evidence that's out there.
Yeah, the key word's out there. It's a dodge. He can lie because the lie comes from truth that's out there. And it's that defense that has allowed CNN to push destructive bile about law enforcement, about the decimation of our cities due to the left-wing policies CNN parades as progress. But imagine if CNN hadn't embraced the police's racist theme and had looked up the data. If I could do it, so could Lemon, but he didn't, because if he did, Zucker would can him quicker than cling peaches. Imagine if they hadn't portrayed half of America as white supremacists. I mean, there are black and brown Trump supporters, but if they didn't count, at least to Lemon. Imagine if they saw how much divisive opinions created a climate that pit people against each other, culminating in billions in damages and rioting. Oh, how they laughed at that crime. You saw that. If only they hadn't waited until it finally affected Biden's election chances that they took the bloodshed seriously. The divisive climate caused a palpable subversion of law enforcement, leading to reductions in police interaction in communities that needed their help most. The results, a massive spike in shootings and murder, the death of innocent minorities in cities left to rot by the left, who took their cues from CNN. But I guess that's just an opinion, right? But it's an opinion arising from truth. From facts. I mean, if Lemon can say that, so can I. But at least I'm honest enough to say that it's my opinion. Time for Lemon to do the same. Let's welcome tonight's guest. Her biceps are registered with CrossFit and the NRA. Fox News contributor Laura Trump. He was awarded the Bronze Star, and that's also his nickname at the tanning salon. Fox and Friends weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. She's louder than a garbage disposal full of angry ghosts. Fox News contributor Kat Tipp. If he hollers cannonball, there's about to be a tsunami. My massive sidekick and host of Nuff Said on Fox Nation, Tyrus. So, Laura, that's the first time I've been on your Instagram. You work out like a demon.
Well, thank you very much.
I know.
Congratulations for checking me out.
I know. I think I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to do my tries better. So I always feel like that the legacy media is based on an adolescent idea, almost like from a freshman in high school, that they know the truth and no one else does, and then that means that they can read everybody else's mind, and that's where CNN. That's why CNN can demonize everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's very clear. Maybe they don't call it opinion. Maybe it's because it is obviously like left-wing propaganda that they continue to push out there. It's very clear to anyone that's been paying attention that the mainstream media, and CNN is definitely part of that, is like the marketing arm for the Democrat Party. They continue to push the narrative that the Democrats want them to put out there. And it's pretty clear when you walk down the street, you can see the people that have bought into the propaganda and see the people who are free thinkers, who are critical thinkers, who have clearly not bought into it. And by the way, I think they are playing their hand a little too far each and every day. And I think people are starting to wake up and say, something isn't right, because after all, we see all the things that they were continuing to be wrong about come out every single day.
Yeah, and the thing is, Pete, he said, like, when I'm wrong, I'll admit it. He never admitted he was wrong about anything, especially the riots that he mocked, and the violence and the black on black crime. He mocked it. He never came back and said, boy, I really screwed up. Instead, he said that it's affecting Biden's chances in the election, which, you know, as we know, some election, right, Pete?
Yeah. Really spot on. Let's do that again. 24.
Yeah.
It's because his entire premise is based on the fact that he's smart and you're dumb. Mm-hmm. And as a result, if he admits that he's wrong, he's got to admit that he's not as smart as he says, and he doesn't get to tell you his point of view that isn't opinion. By the way, he went from CNN to PBS so that he could go the only place lower rated than CNN.
Yeah.
To do this interview.
Hosted by, and that was Margaret Hoover, who is married to John Avlon, who is one of the loudest, most obnoxious hacks on CNN.
Oh, and probably on Twitter then as well.
Yes.
But the whole thing is, ultimately, don't lie to me. That's all I want on TV. Greg Gutfeld will come up and say, this is my point of view. This is my opinion. This is what I... When you stand up and say, no, I'm objective, just the facts, just the science, just the truth, and you can see right through it. That's why people turn the channel. People would rather watch MSNBC, where they're saying, I've got a point of view, I'm going to tell you what it is, judge for yourself. Same thing with Fox.
That's why Rachel Maddow is a pro, and
Yes.
I may disagree with everything, but she's not a phony. And
That's right.
Tyrus, it's like these weird levels of awareness where CNN is at this weird thing where they believe that they know the truth. As you get older, you're supposed to get wisdom where you know that truth that's not how it works. It's like you can look at CNN and you can look at Fox News and you can look at MSNBC and see what they're doing. You can be above it.
I'm above it naturally, Greg.
Yes.
I know being above things is new for you. And by the way, only you could see if a snake had nuts. That's awesome. Thank you for that. But let's not be so quick.
Yes.
To judge. I mean, hey, hold on here. I mean, if you can say point of view and opinion, I mean,
Yes.
I'm be like, I don't murder, I take life. So, I mean, you know, you can just kind of split, you know, just let's not be so, it's always safe. What he's basically saying is, I'm not wrong, and if I am, it's from my point of view because I'm coming from a place of truth, which means that I can't be held accountable for anything I say.
Yes.
So if you give an opinion, you have to own it. And it takes courage to give an opinion. To sit up here and especially your stature and those socks, for you to say the things that you want to say. Listen, I got to do something, you know, because she's going to snap, and I'm not going to stop her.
About my socks?
No, every week you keep throwing little jabs at Kat, and I'm telling you it's building. It's building. And when she gives you her point of view, you're going to want to hear my opinion.
All right, Kat. Are you a Don Lemon fan?
No.
Are you do you notice that their entire, I guess their entire premise is based on knowing what you think? Like if you say, Kat, to CNN, I'm not racist, they would disagree and they go, but I know you are.
I think if anybody knew what I was thinking ever, I would not be allowed in society. But I just think it's so interesting that anybody would ever trust any human and say, yes, what they're saying is complete fact. Because a lot of us aren't perfect.
Exactly.
And sometimes people, I mean, like someone can tell you one thing and then, you know, you spend some time hiding in their bushes and you see something completely different. You can't completely, just to even fancy yourself as, he's remarkably bad at it. I mean, he doesn't even try. Everything's an opinion. Everything is, you know, clearly his bias is very, 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 very straightforward when it comes to that. But to even think that he would be capable of that is a creepy level of narcissism.
Yeah, I mean, I always use my example of like my shift on Donald Trump was pretty drastic, and it was because of my cognitive biases. I'm aware of I'm aware how we manufacture our own truth. We manufacture our own truth every day, and then we come to believe it, and then we say, but it's the truth. We forget that we actually have manufactured it.
Right, like how I used to drink before work, and now that I know I can get high off coffee toner, I'm going to save a lot of money.
Save some for the rest of us. All right, up next, Hollywood swarms to promote.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.